I love the book of Isaiah. Sometimes it's kind of like hard to wrap your head around in some places, but this is what I'm led to read today and talk about. Isaiah 57. The righteous man perishes at the hand of evil, and no one takes it to heart. Faithful and devout men are taken away, while no one understands that the righteous person is taken away to be spared from disaster and evil. He enters into peace through death. They rest in their beds of their graves, each one who walked uprightly, following God's will, living with integrity. But come here, you sons of a sorceress, raised in deception and superstition, offspring of an adulterer and a prostitute. Of whom do you make fun? Against whom do you open wide your mouth and stick out your tongue? Are you not children of rebellion and sin, offspring of deceit, who inflame yourselves with lust and pagan rites among the oaks called the terebinth trees, under every green and leafy tree, who slaughter the children in sacrifice in the ravines, under the clefts of the rocks? Among the smooth stones of the ravine is your portion. They, the idols, are your lot. Even to them you have poured out a drink offering. You have offered a grain offering. Should I be quiet concerning these things, leaving them unpunished, bearing them with patience? Upon a high and lofty mountain you have openly and shamelessly made your idolatrous and adulterous bed. Even there you went up to offer sacrifice to idols and spiritual unfaithfulness to me. Behind the door and the doorpost you have set up your pagan symbol. Indeed, far removed from me, you have uncovered yourself and have gone up and made your bed wide open for anybody. And you have made a new agreement for yourself with the adulterers. You have loved their bed. You have looked with passion on their manhood. Another reading is Moloch, or an idol to the pagan god. You have gone to the king of a pagan land with oil and increased your perfumes. You have sent your messengers a great distance, and then made them go down to Sheol, the realm of the dead. You were weary by the length of your road, yet you did not say, "It is no use." You found renewed strength, therefore you did not grow weak. And whom were you worried and fearful, that you lied and did not remember me, nor give me a thought? Was I not silent, even for a long time? And as a result, you do not fear me. I will declare your hypocritical righteousness and your deeds, but they will not benefit you. When you cry out for help, let your ridiculous collection of idols save you. But the wind will carry them all away. A mere breath will take them. But he who takes refuge in me will possess the land. In this case, they're talking about Judea, because Israel is doing these things. Judah is doing these things, whatever you can call it over there at the time. Instead of focusing and devoting themselves, their religion, their worship to God, they're going off with the pagan idols and the people around them kind of stuff, instead of keeping themselves separate. This is Isaiah prophesying to them, the message from God. And a mere breath will take them away, but he who takes refuge in me will possess the land and will inherit my holy mountain. And it will be said, build up, clear the way, remove the stumbling block out of the way of the spiritual return of my people. For the high and exalted one, he who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy, says this: I dwell on the high and holy place, but also with the contrite and humble spirit, in order to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite, overcome with sorrow from sin. For I will not contend forever, nor will I always be angry. For if I did stay angry, the spirit of man would grow weak before me, and the breath of those whom I have created. Because of the wickedness of his unjust gain, I was angry and struck him. I hid my face and was angry. And he went on turning away and backsliding in the way of his own willful heart. I have seen his willful ways, but I will heal him. I will lead him also, and will restore comfort to him and to those who mourn for him. As I create the praise of his lips. Peace, peace to him who is far away, both Jew and Gentile, and to him who is near, says the Lord. And I will heal him, making his lips blossom anew with thankful praise. But the wicked are like the tossing sea, for it cannot be quiet, and its waters toss up mire and mud. Think of when like a hurricane comes in and it brings all this nasty. There is no peace, says my God, for the wicked. I've heard people tell me that how could God love everyone and there be no peace for the wicked? The wicked don't want peace. They choose this instead of choosing God. This essentially was a prophecy to Israel, but it still holds true in the now for those that turn away. Idols. Today's idols aren't little statues of the god of the moon or whatever, though for some people there probably still is. Our idols are modern idols. The cell phone is definitely an idol for a lot of people. Unfortunately, the generation that my grandkids' age group is in, a lot of them have had, not just them, but because I know y'all watching to see if I'm talking about y'all. Just that whole generation were given electronics as a babysitter. At first, no one realized this was a bad idea because it kept them occupied. There's learning games, there's things you could do, but as they relied on that as an entertainment instead of making your own entertainment. When I grew up out here, we had 3 television stations, 2 if we were lucky to catch them. There was no cable. Still ain't no cable down here. You have to have a satellite dish. We went outside. We rode bikes. We made up games. We just played chase. We did stuff kids did for hundreds of years. Well, further back than me, kids had to help work chores because we didn't have electricity, and maybe you had to go grow more of your own food and things like that. You know, we had gardens and stuff, but not to that extent. My dad had a good job. But what I'm saying is that has become an idol for a lot of people without even realizing it. Food can be an idol. Oh Lord, I surely enjoyed some wedding cake. Yeah, well, by the time you see this, it'll be weeks ago. There was this frosting. It was cream cheese with coconut in it, flavor and not pieces of coconut. I guess people it was the equivalent, the pleasure sensations when I bit into that. Or it must be the equivalent of somebody that's, I don't know, that's an alcoholic maybe and gets that first drink, or I don't know, about just pleasures to be, oh man, this is the best stuff ever. And most people just laugh and say, ain't nothing wrong with that. No, food's okay. But I knew I had to limit myself because of my blood sugar would be, ah. So, I really enjoyed that piece. But if I was eating that every day and couldn't do without it, or using it to, like, okay, here's an example. Press mode, grumpy, PMSy, get the ice cream, carton of Bluebell. And for folks not from the South, Bluebell is the best ice cream in the world. Don't even argue with me. Bluebell brand ice cream. Get you a spoon. You be eating out the carton. Before you know it, you've ate half the, well, depending on if it was half gone already. Sometimes, anyhow, you be eating a lot of ice cream, which is all kind of calories and sugar and fat. But you feel better for a little bit, but then you feel horrible because, man, I ate all that, and just feel horrible about yourself. But that is your idol. Instead of going to God with what was bothering me, because I have done this more than once, probably countless times. Went to that ice cream. That's an example for me. Many, many years ago, in my youth, before I got saved, I'd go to what was the beer back then? Bud Light, I guess. I don't know. Or whatever you can afford. Strawberry, Boone's Farm Hill. Oof. Stuff that I couldn't stomach now. But anyway. Those are just examples for me. Things about idols of the now. Some people having their nails perfect all the time to the point where they're obsessed, it becomes an idol. Nothing wrong with keeping your, because mine definitely are nasty. I don't go to the salon. Look at these pitiful things. For one thing, sitting there that long is just like, because you can't do anything with your hands because they're working on them. The other part is you have to keep it up. So paying $40 a month or whatever it is now for my hands to look pretty when I'm really the only one looking at them makes no sense. It's also kind of hard to type if your nails are long, at least for me. I'm not knocking people who get their nails done. Hey, them people that have those nail salons are making bank and they're smart. But it's, to me, it's just nobody's looking at my hands but me. Now I look at them and go, ugh. I love rings, but they look, my poor pitiful. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I just need a basic manicure. I don't know. I just end up cutting them off anyway. That's just an example. Some people have to have their feet perfect and go get these pedicures. I've never had a pedicure. For one thing, I'm weird about people touching my feet. Not that I don't mind a foot massage, but it's not anybody can touch my feet. That just feels like, I don't know, like a naked part of the body that somebody be messing with. I don't wear sandals much anyway because of my flat arch problem. So I usually have Asics or boots on anyway. So, but just the whole idea of someone touching them, it's just weird to me. I'm getting off and digressing here, but lots of things can be idols. Music, movie stars, music. As a middle schooler, high schooler, I idolized Madonna. I thought she was the most awesomest thing. I wanted to be her. I even had the hair going on. Now? Maybe back in the 1985 Madonna, we're okay. Maybe. I think like after the second album, well, the second album was a little risque for the day, but it just, I don't know, got a little weirder and weirder. After the 90s, it was weirder and weirder. So she's a very savvy businesswoman, but anyway, and I respect the savviness. However, as far as my belief system goes, she's not the entertainer for me that I thought was so wonderful as a kid. So people, you can idolize people in music, people on TV. In fact, that's what I call them, icons. What is an icon? It's an idol. And the Catholic Church sometimes refers to icons as these like pictures that are done a certain way of Jesus and his mama, and they call them icons. Same kind of thing, I guess, in a way, if you put too much emphasis on the picture. Well, I gotta get moving. I'm hungry because I didn't eat today except a spoon of peanut butter because I was busy working and I didn't feel like stopping. All right, y'all, have a blessed rest of your week. I'm gonna pray for y'all real quick. Lord, I lift up my viewers, whoever they may be, whenever they may see this. Maybe it'll bless them somehow, in some way that I don't know about. And it doesn't matter if I know about it.